I'm Tooba, and I'm a graphic designer at Frontmatter. I've been a part of the team for more than a year now. Before joining Frontmatter, I was doing freelance projects, and I was also heading creatives for a fitness facility in Karachi. In my spare time, I design furniture and spaces. And outside of work, I love to travel and explore new things. And I also love outdoor activities. I'm passionate about exploring creative possibilities and turning ideas into impactful designs, whether it's a digital visual or a home decor piece. Design in general, I feel, is an essential part of our lives. And for me, the most fun part about design is the exploration element. Over the years, I tried and tested different ways of exploring design briefs and keeping a fresh perspective and consistently innovating. In this webinar, I'm excited to share my insights on how effective design exploration can inspire new ideas and elevate your approach to projects, helping you bring your creative vision to life. Let's get into it. What is design exploration? It's the process of investigating and researching multiple creative directions to solve a design problem. Every creative individual has their own exploration strategy with the end goal of solving a design problem. So, as a designer, the idea should be to gather inspiration, conduct research, brainstorm, test different ideas or concepts before deciding on the final design solution. The quality of your exploration will inherently be the difference between being a good designer and a great designer, and will help you stand out from the crowd as well. You should aim to explore the various possibilities and push creative boundaries, leading to more innovative and effective outcomes. So let's take a look at the different approaches of exploration that you may be able to incorporate in your process if you're not already doing so. So I've picked three design exploration approaches that I feel are most effective. The first one being conceptual design. The second one is trend-based and historical exploration. And mood boards and style tiles is the third one. Moving forward, we look at a design brief as a case study and see how we can make use of these approaches when working on design projects. The brief for this project is for a poster design, which is a part of a broader campaign that seeks to address ongoing injustice by promoting peaceful demonstrations and collective action. Through community-driven events like marches and panel discussions, and through social media outreach. The campaign aims to bring awareness to create cultural to these crucial issues and empower individuals to take actions for a more fairer and a more peaceful world. So that's the background of the campaign that we need to design a poster for. I've also highlighted some words that I want to keep in mind while working on this project. Advocates for justice, inspire and raising their voices, participation in dialogues, and raising awareness. Target audience for this poster is activists, community organizers, and socially conscious people. Aging from 18 to 35 years old. And the objective for this design brief is to inspire individuals to raise their voices for justice. We also have the content for the poster design on the right side. So we have the headline, the body copy, and the event information and CTA. So moving on. The first approach is conceptual design, which is a visual way to explore and connect different ideas around a central theme, helping in the conceptualization process. So let's look at how we can explore this approach. Before we get into that, I would like to let you know that there are two ways you can build on this type of research. So, the first way is to visualize through words. A bunch of methods can be used for this. You can ask the five W's and one H, so which is what, when, who, where, and why, and how. You can also word dump, so list down whatever words come to your mind. You can also use AI tools like ChatGPT, and you can feed it all the information about your project so it can create a very curated response according to your needs. You can use a web search as well to build your research. And last but not the least, you can discuss with your peers and ask around to get more insight. I think this is a very good practice that designers should not shy away from and make use of it as much as possible to understand different perspectives. So let's see how we can incorporate this approach for our poster design. So for the poster, I'll start with a word dump exercise, which is basically mind mapping. So the topic is speaking up for justice. So dump whatever words come to your mind regarding this topic, what emotions and motivations people might also have. You can also think so anything you can think about the topic, you can just write it down here. The words can be directly or indirectly related to the topic. You can get creative. There's no right and wrong here. You can also list down what symbols and visual elements would represent the message. You can also write down what impacts are of this topic, and also what challenges people might face. Also, what tone you want to keep for the message is also very important, and it's always good to set a tone for your projects so that you have a direction for your designs. It just makes the execution easier. Here I've just highlighted a few things that I want to explore while designing this poster. I want to emphasize on taking action, raising voices, standing up. And I've also decided to experiment with some visual elements that relate to the theme. So, such as a megaphone, technology, media, community, censorship. I want the poster to be bold, create a sense of urgency, and be eye catching. You can always come back to this to take more inspiration or even build upon this further if needed. Moving on, the second way you can build on the concept under this approach is with brainstorming metaphors, which means gathering unusual concepts or metaphors to convey the core message of the project. For example, using imagery that represents freedom of speech for the campaign poster. For this method, you can make use of resources such as Pinterest, Dribble, Behance, blogs, research papers, social media, so Facebook, Instagram, movies, ads. Basically, it can be anywhere you find visual inspiration for your projects. So with conceptual design, you can either use one of the methods, text-based exploration or visual exploration, or combine both of them together depending on the project requirements. Here I have used both of the methods to show you how you can build on your own research while working on your projects. So the word dump exercise that we did helped in creating a sense of direction for the visuals that I would like to use for the poster. I don't want to shortlist any visual directions for the poster as for now. We can do that after the iterative process. Moving on. The second design approach that we'll be looking at is trend-based and historical cultural exploration. So, trend-based designs involves researching and incorporating current design trends into a project. This approach helps in making design feel contemporary and relevant. It requires balancing trends with originality to avoid design becoming generic. Some examples for these trends are bold minimalist, doodle slash scrapbooking, 3D type and icon textures, abstract gradients and color transitions, and AI enhanced design practices as well. Or you could go with historical and cultural research, which basically refers to drawing inspiration from specific art movements or cultural motifs to influence your designs. So, this approach can help ground a design in a deeper visual or symbolic context. Some examples are pop art, Swiss design, Bauhaus, Dadaism, Art Nouveau, etc. If you've studied design in school, you might have studied these movements. But if you are a self taught designer, you might not have gotten the chance to learn about these. But you can look them up to understand the styles they represented. Regardless, I would highly encourage you to study all these different design movements that took place over the years in history and the impact they had and have on our lives, and how they have shaped the world as we know it today. So the same goes for trend-based designs, especially in today's day and age where everything is influenced by trends so much. These are great to incorporate mindfully into your designs while retaining originality. For this poster, I'm thinking about taking inspiration from Swiss design and Dadaism from the old movements, and from the new movements, new trends. I want to explore bold minimalism and doodling slash scrapbooking. So I'm going with these because the style Dadaism uses is very attention grabbing, and the movement was based on challenging the social norms of the society. So this style goes really well with the kind of topic that we have for this poster and the kind of visual style we are trying to achieve. Again, same goes with bold minimalism, which will help keep the focus on the message and would attract the relevant audience. I'm leaning towards using bold, clean typography, playing with some supporting visual elements and dynamic layouts for this poster, but we can explore them further. You don't have to use all of these, but but it is a good practice to shortlist a direction in this approach so that it's easier for you when you're designing. Okay, so the last approach that we'll be looking at is mood boards and style tiles. This approach is useful for defining the visual direction for a project and helping designers organize their thoughts and establish a cohesive style. These tools, you can focus on gathering and arranging visual style inspirations. You can create a mood board to visually represent ideas, styles, and color palettes that convey a desired look and feel. So for this poster design, the mood board I want to go with is a bold, flat design style with bold typography. I'm taking inspiration from the Swiss design style, clean typefaces, impactful imagery or illustrations as supporting elements, and also playing with type orientation to grab attention, which is inspired by Dadaism. So the color palette I'm going to use is red, representing urgency, yellow for hope and optimism, and white and black as neutrals, which will help create a balanced yet powerful visual that will capture attention, and also will communicate urgency, effectively supporting the poster's theme. Make use of color psychology to understand emotions and feelings of the audience you want to target. So you can read more. I'm not going to dive more into color psychology, but you can read more about it and see how you can make use of it into your practices to invoke emotions and feelings. You can also experiment with different fonts that would work best for your project. Here, I'm exploring sans serif and display fonts. So, some examples are Rubik, Gotham, Montserrat, etc. Once you're done with your research and design exploration, you can dive into concept development. Here, we can focus on rapid iteration through sketching and prototyping to refine and improve designs that we had explored previously. This is particularly useful when you need to experiment with design layouts, compositions, or even visual elements that you want to see will work best together. That's the reason I did not want to limit myself to a specific direction. Also, when we were exploring the visual conceptual design approach, here I've made a bunch of layouts using visual elements that I had brainstormed and mind mapped. So, experimenting with placement and hierarchy of the text and the visuals being used. Again, at this stage, you can explore as much as you want to build on the concepts and try experimenting with a bunch of directions before you dive into digitally designing it. So you don't have to worry about how the sketches look. You don't need to make them perfect. This is just to give you a rough idea of how the design would work. Here I have shortlisted a bunch of designs, concepts that I'd like to explore digitally for this poster. So, the megaphone, the wide open mouth technology community are the visuals that I'm leaning towards. And so, let's move on and see how we can digitalize them. Okay, so we have our artboard here. We have all the content for this poster as well. So let's start adding a color to the background and set a solid foundation. I'm going with a dark gray as the background. The main heading is the central point for this poster that I want to anchor the design with and create the most prominence to. Also, using a bold sans serif font will emphasize the urgency of the message. I have also added a pop of color, a pop of red to represent urgency and passion, and also to draw attention to the heading. Moving on. So, next for the body copy, I'm keeping it smaller and less bold, providing the context without overpowering the design. The title and the body text are centrally aligned and also maintaining a symmetry and so that the design can be cohesive. I have placed the event details at the top corners to provide a balance while keeping the main content uncluttered. On the next, I am moving on to the date and the slogan, which are serving as supporting elements, guiding the viewer's eye. And I wanted to keep the date of the event to be immediately noticeable. So I'm adding a contrasting color, yellow, which also will signify the importance and optimism. For this, visual element that I'm using is the large open mouth illustration, and which was one of the concepts I had sketched out in the concept development phase. I have used the illustration as one of the dominant elements that covers the entire poster, but still keeping it as a background element by using a tint of gray. This visual element also symbolizes raising one's voices and amplifying the theme of speaking up for justice. And the minimalistic and flat illustration style is also ensuring that the visual does not detract from the textual message but complements it. So, in conclusion, the large mouth graphic balances the text heavy elements and creates an even distribution of visual weight. And the consistent spacing between the text elements also enhances the clarity and flow of the poster. So while designing this poster, I kept in mind the bold, clean, modern mood board and style we had explored in the design exploration approaches. Also, by using bold typography and a balanced color palette and a dynamic graphic element, we're creating a harmony to inspire action while maintaining a bold, impactful tone. I've also made a bunch of variations for this concept. For the first variation, I played around with the same visual element, but I repeated the motive, which adds diversity and reinforcement of the theme, collective action. I experimented with the text placement, the type hierarchy, and added a pop of color from the color palette to create more focus on the main heading, encouraging to take action. Moving on, for the second poster variation, I used an asymmetrical layout that creates a sense of interest and dynamism. And also, the design is divided into very clear sections, balancing the text and the visuals to guide the viewer's eyes naturally from one element to the next. I also explored a different color direction here and enlarged and cropped out the illustration, moving it to one side of the poster and changing the alignment of the text as well to a grid design, but keeping the heading the central of attention with a display font and a sans serif font to complement it. Moving on to the third poster design, I tried illustrating the same visual element in a different way. I also moved the content around to see what all possibilities I could explore to create a visually balanced poster here. And for the fourth poster, I used the human mouth as a silhouette and to create an abstract representation of the same visual. The human mouth and the use of the background using just one color tone with the main heading and the body text right aligned. I also played around with the size of the date, and I used a larger font, but I reduced the opacity so the heading would still be the main focal point of this poster. Let's explore another concept for the same poster. Starting with deep red as the base color for this poster to set the tone of urgency. In this one, I have placed the CTA in bold at the top of the poster. Then I've added the event details at the bottom. And after that, I've added the body copy, creating a visual hierarchy for all the content of the poster. So it's easy to read and you know exactly what information you should be reading first. Here I tried to play around with the type orientation for the main heading to make it stand out. Here I'm incorporating the Dadaist inspired type orientation. So to create contrast and more emphasis on the heading, I am also introducing the color yellow so it can attract attention and also showcase optimism. Using the megaphone as the supporting design element, also in yellow, to create the connection between all the elements on this poster design. So I placed the heading in such a way that that it's illustrated as if it's coming out from the megaphone and is created in a very seamless flow. And lastly, I added some hand-drawn strokes to show movement between the type and the visual element. I've tried to maintain a hierarchy for the type in this poster, making it easy for the eye to move and cover all the information from top to bottom. The first thing that draws attention or catches the eye here is the main heading, as it is placed in an unusual way, breaking away from the structured grid design, which also invites the viewer to stop and see what the poster is all about. Okay, so even for this concept, I explored some other variations to show you how you can create multiple options of the same concept, making use of the colors, type, orientation, placement, text alignments, and also the hierarchy of all the design elements at play. So the first option is just a color variation for the same poster. And the second one, I experimented with the visual element by placing it in a way that it complements the text on the poster. Also, using that to help the viewer's eye to read all the information on this design into a continuous S formation. I kept a similar hierarchy to the previous poster, but I changed the placement of the text. I would like to mention that having negative space around also helps the content to breathe and not look really cramped up or cluttered. For the third design, I kept everything centrally aligned and symmetrical with the visual elements on both sides of the heading, making the heading the focal point, and also adding a high contrast color that will especially highlight on this dark black background. And for the fourth one, I went with a lighter base, created some visual hierarchy in the visual element, the megaphone, along with the text on this poster. These are just a few variations. You can make a lot more. This was just to show you how you can take one concept and play around and make multiple variations before deciding what the best design is. So play around with type, colors, visual elements, any way you want. So creating multiple variations will not only help in visualizing your concepts better and demonstrate your in-depth exploration on when you're working on any project. I would highly encourage all of you to incorporate such practices in your work. It will help you make the best design choices. Similarly, I explored a few more options for another concept. I'm not going into the breakup for this one, but rather just talking about the posters I've made right now on this screen. So here I am showcasing bloody hands that are trying to invoke a sense of urgency and passion amongst the community. Again, I'm not going into depth for each and every one of these, but I'm playing around with the colors, type scale and placement, text alignment, and also using design principles such as hierarchy, repetition to deliver the message. So for instance, when you look at the last design here, I used the same visual element of the bloody hand, but scaled it down to represent volumes and showcase it in a pattern. Not only this is making it visually appealing, but is also delivering the concept, and also is showing the volume of injustice, again to invoke emotions. So, looking at all of these concepts for the poster, I tried to demonstrate strong visual hierarchy, clean topography, and an effective use of space. With its bold and symbolic design visuals, aligned perfectly with the theme of our poster, which was justice, peace, and advocacy, ensuring that the message is impactfully and visually memorable. Also, incorporating these design exploration approaches um, helped in creating a visual story for these posters, and you can make use of these approaches in your design projects as well. So the first approach was conceptual design, which can be used for projects such as storytelling to convey a message. So when you're creating story frames, or you can also use that with social awareness campaigns and brand narratives. The second approach, you can utilize it for projects that require immediate attention, so such as social media graphics or marketing campaigns. And the historical and cultural research, you can connect it with a specific audience heritage, reflecting timeless design principles. And for the third approach, mood boards and style tiles, it helps establish a visual style for a brand or or any project, for that matter, setting a cohesive tone and aesthetic before starting any detailed design work. So you know exactly what you'd be looking at.